I'm all in for the future of the Xbox. Microsoft has gone out of their way to kind of tout this new future for what they're going to be bringing to the Xbox Series X and S, obviously. And to be quite honest with you, I feel like they've got a lot going for them. And I also feel like the future is bright. And I know people don't like hearing about that, right? We've heard it all before. Wait for this, wait for that. People are kind of tired of waiting. And I completely understand that thought process. I do, because I was the one saying, hey, well, wait till this happens or wait till that happens. And it's one of those things that, to be honest with you, people get sick and tired of that kind of thing, and I totally understand that. But to be quite honest about this, I also feel like, Microsoft has come a long way, and this isn't the same Microsoft from 5 years ago when they had 4 studios. And I know people hate hearing that, but that's the God's honest truth when you think about it, right? And when people like myself and BGST were hyping up Xbox, what did we do? Wait till this or wait till E3. Well, waiting till E3 is all fine and good, but how the hell is waiting to E3 going to do anything when you only have 4 studios, which was the case? They had 343 that does Halo, Coalition that does Gears, Turn 10 that does Forza Motorsport, and they had Mojang. That was it. So yeah, kind of hard to get anything accomplished when those are your 4 studios. Now, obviously, with 25 about to be 35 studios, and especially with some of this news that hit right here, man, what a great time to be a fan. Am I right? Like, this is just absolutely one of those things that blows my mind. And listen, Microsoft is going to be doing some things that I think people maybe didn't think possible. I want to get into this. It's going to be exciting. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer, and this is Crap Gamer Reviews. Please hit the like button. I'm looking for 100 likes on every video I do. It's a very small goal, but it's a goal nonetheless that I would love to sort of accomplish, and just very much appreciate if you guys could hook it up with that. That would be nice. And especially given how things are nowadays, nobody wants to help anybody else out or anything like that. So yeah, very, very one of those interesting things. Now, it looks like the Brazilian regulator has approved Microsoft's proposed Activision Blizzard deal. And now, if you remember, we got information about how Sony was against the deal from the Brazilian regulators in the first place, because Sony said, oh, well, it's going to, people will buy an Xbox over a PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. So now one of the places that Sony was fighting hardest against, it looks like it's gone through. No restrictions. On Wednesday, this past Wednesday, the County Administrative Council for Economic Defense said it approved the merger with no restriction. Considering the huge popularity of Call of Duty, it is reasonable to infer that if Activision Blizzard games were no longer available on Sony consoles, PlayStation users could decide to migrate to Xbox or even PC to continue having access to franchise games. That was part of Cade's summary. On the other hand, it's also reasonable to assume that if upcoming Call of Duty games become exclusive to Microsoft ecosystem, players loyal to the PlayStation brand could simply abandon the series, migrating their demand to other games available on their favorite console. It continues, despite this, one cannot rule out the possibility that Microsoft may deem potentially profitability to adopt an exclusive strategy on Activision Blizzard games, even if the decision in this direction could result in the sacrifice of a relevant part of sales, users, and even the Call of Duty popularity. This is because, in theory, such a strategy could contribute to boosting Xbox sales, expanding Game Pass subscriber base, and strengthening the network effects on the Microsoft ecosystem itself, in order to offset any loss of revenue from the sales of games on the short term. The verdict goes on to state that it believes exclusive content has been very important for competition in the console market, and one of the main factors responsible for PlayStation and Nintendo's position as market leaders. This is what they said: exclusive games are a benchmark of competition between Microsoft and Sony. Although no company has so far developed or acquired an exclusive game that has decisively shifted the balance in favor of a console. This is because proprietary exclusive games are less popular and represent less revenue than third-party AAA games, which until then are available on Xbox and PlayStation. They finally concluded by saying this: as already seen, Nintendo does not currently rely on any content from Activision Blizzard to compete. In turn, Sony has several predicates: strength of world's leading brand for more than 20 years, extensive experience in this sector, largest user base, largest install base of consoles, robust catalog of games, partnerships and multiple publishers, brand loyalty of consumers, which should contribute to maintaining the competitiveness of PlayStation in a possible post-operation scenario, even in the face of a possible loss of Activision Blizzard content. Furthermore, it is important to highlight that the central objective of CADE's activities is the protection of competition as means of promoting the well-being of Brazilian consumers and not the defense of a particular interest of specific competitors. After all, one cannot lose sight of the fact that the holder of legal assets protected under the law is collectively and not a competitor economic agent as an individual entity. In this sense, although it is recognized that part of these users of PlayStation consoles from Sony could decide to migrate to Xbox if Activision Blizzard games and especially Call of Duty become exclusive, then CADE does not believe that such possibility represents in and of itself a risk to competition as a whole. The Brazilian regulator was one of the first to publicly share his correspondence around the merger, including unprecedented access to Q&A responses from companies such as Sony, Ubisoft, Amazon, and Google. The decision follows that of Saudi Arabia General Authority for Competition, which declared in August that it had no objection to the proposed games industry buyout. The proposed almost $70 billion acquisition is currently being scrutinized by regulators across the world amid antitrust concerns during a time of increasing consolidation, and according to a report published on Tuesday, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission could reportedly rule on Microsoft's proposition by late November. Meanwhile, the UK competition regulator announced on Tuesday that it set a deadline of March 1st, 2023 to do this. Notably, the CMA is worried about the impact the deal could have on PlayStation's ability to compete. But if you guys think about this, what they're saying is, hey, Nintendo's been competing for how long? And they don't have access to Activision games. Sony has, all these fans, all this robust catalog of games, they're going to be absolutely fine, which is 100% the case. Again, it's really kind of on Sony and the company to prove that it would be a thing that would stop them from competing. So again, the fact of the matter is this: yes, if they did make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox, that would hurt PlayStation a little bit, but it's not going to drive PlayStation out of business, and it likely wouldn't stop PlayStation from being, the number one company, that kind of does things. So yeah, you got to love the fact that, they kind of say it how it is, and, that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's got to be. How can Nintendo be where they're at right now, 120 million Switches sold or whatever, if with no access to Activision content whatsoever? How can that be the case? And then, Sony say, oh, well, woe was us. Again, it doesn't make any sense. They're trying to kind of play the victim here. And the fact of the matter is, exclusive content has always been something that these companies rely on. And so buying these companies is going to be key to the future of that. With that being said, please like the video, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching. Wreck 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap gamer, out.